Welcome to the virtual office hours, everyone. My name is John Fee. I teach history here at Messiah College. I got the founding fathers with me as usual. Megan Piet, our trusty producer, is behind the camera. And today we are doing episode 9 of the History of American Evangelicalism series, which goes along with the History of American Evangelical series course that I'm teaching here this semester at Messiah College. There's also a smaller version of this course going on at the West Shore Evangelical Free Church. We're doing a 4-week Sunday school course on the history of American evangelicalism. So this is evangelicalism semester. We just finished Christine Hireman's book. We did three episodes on Hireman's book, The Southern Cross. We are now moving into the post-Civil War era, and we are focusing our attention on George Marsden's Fundamentalism in American Culture. I got the traditional orange-covered book that I read in graduate school, or even before graduate school, here, and then the 25th anniversary edition, updated edition, which the students are reading this semester here. In this office hours, I actually want to take a little bit of a departure from what we've normally been doing, and I want to talk a little bit autobiographically about how this book has been so formative to me in shaping my understanding of American religion and actually in prompting me to become a historian. Some of you know my story. I was raised as a Roman Catholic in a very ethnic Roman Catholic family, half Italian, half Slovakian, I think with a little Polish thrown in there too, actually, and converted to an evangelical form of Christianity when I was 16 years old. And I went off, got very much on fire about my faith, wanted to go into some form of Christian ministry, went off to a Christian college where I was going to pursue that course, and then went to seminary at a major evangelical seminary in the Midwest. What's fascinating is when I got to seminary, I began taking courses in church history. And one of the books that I read in one of those courses was Fundamentalism in American Culture. And I became completely ensconced in this whole literature by people like Marsden and Mark Knoll and Nathan Hatch and Harry Stout and Grant Wacker. We often refer to them today as the evangelical mafia. I don't think they'd be offended if I used that term. But these books, and especially Marsden's Fundamentalism in American Culture, really brought history to life, because these books helped me to understand what for me was a very strange evangelical movement that I had converted into. Theologically, I had made a decision to convert to evangelicalism as a teenager, but I was not prepared for all of the various intellectual and theological nuances and the social world, if you will, of American evangelicalism. When I read Marsden, it all started to make sense for me. And what I began to see as I began to read this material was that it was the historians, people like Knoll and Marsden and others. It was the historians who were really shaping the public's understanding of what an evangelical was. Not theologians, not pastors, but it was Christians who were writing the history of their own movements. Marsden, of course, has fundamentalist and evangelical roots. And this sort of blew me away, that there was actually a history, there was a historiography, historical literature about this weird evangelical movement that I had just converted to. So I devoured this kind of literature. And in fact, I think it was really reading these scholars that not only helped me to understand my own identity as an evangelical Christian, but also prompted me and pushed me into the field of history, because I saw the power that history could have in terms of shaping individual identities and helping me understand who I was and what this new movement I had joined was all about. So Marsden's book today, I just recently heard this, it continues to be the best seller in American religious history at Oxford University Press, which is major. If you know some of the books that Oxford University Press has put out on American religious history, that is a huge compliment to the book. So there I was in seminary reading this thing, and next thing you know, instead of taking my traditional seminary courses in sort of how to how to conduct a funeral, or how to do a marriage, or how to do pastoral counseling. I was taking all my electives in church history, and the next thing you know, I ended up in a PhD program in American history. Switched to early American history. That's a whole other story in and of itself. But I find with this class and in some of my current projects, especially this book I'm writing on the American Bible Society, I also feel myself coming back to some of this early discussion of the history of evangelicalism, especially with this course that I'm teaching. So that's the story. I think I tweeted and I told the class that I've been waiting 25 years or more to teach this book, and I've finally gotten the chance to do it. In the next office hours, we'll talk a little bit more about the content of the book and what's going on in the class. So thanks for watching.